Hey listeners, Hit the Books has many ways that you can stay connected with us after listening to our show each week. You can follow along with our picks each night via Instagram, Twitter, or DubClub. Follow the links in our description to learn more.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 24 of Hit the Books, your weekly podcast dedicated to all things sports. This week, our biggest episode of the year, the big game is here, Super Bowl 57, here this week on Sunday, February 12th at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. And that is just about the entirety of this episode. We got the normal crew here, plus a few guests to keep things interesting and give us more insight on this huge matchup. Tons of action already on this game, trends, stats, props, and more to follow. So join us this week for a great episode, and let's get started. Like normal, I want to introduce my co-hosts, the men of the program, Huff, Ace, and Mackie. Ace, let's start off with you this week. What's happening? You ready for the big game?
Oh yeah, we've been looking forward to this one all year. As soon as I joined the pod, I think earlier in the summer we were already giving predictions, so it's kind of crazy that time's crept up to us, and we're here for this one. Should be a great one. Two elite teams that led their conferences throughout the season, so nice to see some front runners duke it out for the ultimate title. But yeah, killing NHL, NBA, NCAA hoops. So once we get past this week, we're going to be locked in on that. Make sure you stay in tune to the socials. I've been killing the NFL playoffs on the card, so we got that Pro Bowl weirdness out of the way. I'm excited to get back to ripping some plus units in this last week of the NFL season.
Good stuff, good stuff. I'm ready for this week. Let's go over to Mackie next. Mackie, are you ready for the big game this week, buddy?
Yeah, nice week off last week. Able to gather all the intel and just take a week for ourselves. Just getting ready for the Super Bowl. We got a nice one coming up. Like Ace said, two top teams in the league. It's always nice to see the top teams make it. You want to see the two best teams in the championship at the end of the day. So should be a really good game. Just keep following our daily cards, NBA, NHL, college basketball. They're all doing pretty well. They're all still staying positive. We're hitting a bit of a plateau right now, but we'll be back on top. Just gotta stick with us, stick with the system, and we'll be good.
Good stuff there. Huff, happy to have you here for another week. What's happening, my man? You want to recap our daily NHL, NBA, and college basketball cards for us?
Yeah, quickly touch on things. NCAA basketball, like Mackie said, we hit a little bit of a cold streak the past week, but getting back to it, we're 53, 44, and 2. Heading into first week of February, up 5 units. Can't really complain there. Touching over on the NBA card, 28, 22, and 1, plus 4.75 units. So another nice plus card there. And then the NHL, we had a tough night the other night, but going 1 and 3, but still 55, 46. 55 and 46 on the season, plus 7.95 units. So all the cards still up over near 5 units. So definitely something you're going to want to be paying attention to nightly or daily on the social media for each of our plays going in for each of these leagues, and something that we've been hitting at a consistent rate. Just important you're taking all of them, because some of these nights will go 0-1 in the NHL and 3-0 in college basketball. So it's just kind of, staying with us and all the cards and having faith in them, because clearly all of them are plus right now. So we're looking to get there towards the end of the season and keep these things plus for everyone. So to everyone out there riding the picks, definitely appreciate that. But other than that, Super Bowl this weekend, like you guys said, the two arguably best teams in the league, we get to see it. Eagles and Chiefs. I've been thinking about this game for about 2 weeks now, leading up to it, and I'm really excited for this game.
The boys are buzzing on that daily card. Make sure you tap in, boys.
Yes, sir. We're buzzing about this game. I'm so excited for this matchup here coming on Sunday. Lots to look forward to. Lots of guests coming on the program here later. Very excited for all that. We got Jimmy Beal making his first appearance on the podcast, defend his Philadelphia Eagles, which I am very, very excited to see. With that, let's jump into a recap of the games just a few weeks ago, the conference championships, since we took a week off here for the Pro Bowl. We got the Eagles that took down the 49ers here 31-7, and the Chiefs squeezing by the Bengals 23-20. What do we have here, boys? Lots of good action in those matchups to bring us the Chiefs and the Eagles in this big game. What do you have for me?
Yeah, I mean, you touched on those conference championships, and we got two polar opposites of each other, right? We got that blowout in the NFC, and then a pretty tight game to say the least about that AFC matchup between the Chiefs and the Bengals being decided by just a field goal. My thought about that Eagles game, a lot of people, maybe myself included, have said that's a fake win. They played backup quarterbacks, backups to a backup, and they had an easy path to get here with those rebuilding Giants and whatnot. But you have to give credit where credit's due, and they really throttled them 31-7 all game long. I mean, they proved why they're in this spot. They showcased all the weapons they went and got in the offseason, which we touched on all year. And they handle business in the link, and that's why they're sitting in a spot to go on and win their second Super Bowl. Not the biggest fan of them, but yeah, it's a great team there in Philly, and they showcased it. Tough scene for the 49ers. I have a feeling they'll be back with that roster. They seem to be there every year. But yeah, unfortunate seeing Purdy go down, my boy Brock Purdy, in my Super Bowl futures bet with it. I don't know what you guys are thinking. You were all on the other side with the Eagles, and you hit that pretty easily. So
Yeah, like you said, Eagles, one of the better teams in the league and deserve to be here. But let's not take away from that literally easiest strength of schedule throughout the season. You get the 1 seed, and then you play Daniel Jones in the first round, absolutely tear the inexperienced Giants apart, and then you get to play a fourth string quarterback in the NFC Championship game. So yeah, the Eagles are a very good team, but this is definitely the easiest route to a Super Bowl I think we've ever seen. Granted, they got the job done. They took care of business. Did what they needed to do. But they're definitely going to be running into a different animal here in the Super Bowl, and I think Jalen Hurts is in for something that he hasn't really seen yet.
the thing is, I agree with you, Mackie, about that schedule, but they're doing it in emphatic fashion. Like these are 3-score blowout wins in the playoffs. That's something to not take lightly. I mean, they didn't even play down to the competition. They're buzzing right now. They have been all year long.
Definitely. Which proves that they're obviously they deserve to be here. They're not winning these games by 3 points or on the foot of their kicker or anything, but they still haven't had to fight through that adversity yet. They haven't had to deal with fighting from behind or playing a quarterback who's lights out, just picking their defense apart. They haven't dealt with any adversity yet up to this point. They're definitely going to have, even if they come out on top in this game, they're going to have a lot of adversity to deal with in this Super Bowl. So it's going to be a little different than the Eagles are used to, but it's definitely going to be a very good game, and I'm looking forward to it.
I really like that point that you made there at the end, because this team, like, obviously everyone says it. The first 2 points, that was the first thing you guys brought up, the strength of schedule that this team has seen throughout the season and the playoffs. The blowouts that we've seen in the playoffs, Ace, I really like that you said, you can't really discount that, because a lot of these teams, I know it's the playoffs, but it's still easy to take a team lightly, even whenever you think, you're the 1 seed, you're the big bad 16-3 1 seed coming into this game. They wiped the Giants, and then obviously we know what happened in that 49ers game, but I don't know. I think the Eagles in this spot, I like their matchup here. It's just, it's going to come down to, like what Mackie said, when they face adversity and when Patrick Mahomes is in certain situations, can they get that Chiefs offense off the field? Can they do the little things on defense that everyone talks about? This defense, there's guys everywhere. The defensive backs, the linebackers, the defensive line, they got dudes everywhere. Can they stop Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in key points of this game? And it's going to have to come early, because I think if they get down, it's going to be a very interesting game to see what Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are able to draw up. But back to that 49ers game, unfortunate situation for them. Ace, I know you had that future. I had a future on them too, but it was with the fucking Michigan Wolverines to win the national championship in football. We saw how that one turned out for me. But obviously I think you were in the right seat on that future with that game, but obviously a lot of unfortunate events. We know that with the 49ers. And one thing that a lot of people like to point out is the Dallas Cowboys like to blow it in the wild card round or in the playoffs, but we have now seen the 49ers lose in the NFC Championship game how many years in our, the past 5-6 seasons. And as soon as they came into that matchup in Philly, a rookie quarterback, I really like the Eagles in that spot. But coming into this game, there's a lot to look at going into this Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, you definitely said it, and it's such a big spot for these Eagles. I mean, we've been saying it all year long, like a lot of guys inexperienced that haven't been in these positions before, but they keep succeeding. One thing that really comes to my mind is Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's dealt with adversity throughout his whole career, and he handles it head on, and he has his way with it. I mean, he's been successful in everywhere that we've seen him play professionally, collegiate too, and a lot of different situations just seem to show up in his face, and he always handles it well. But you alluded to the other side of the ball with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes being the biggest threats for these Chiefs who have been here before, won here before, been here twice before actually. But let's touch on their game against the Bengals last week. That was a good tilt coming down to 3 points. Mackie and I have been high on Patrick Mahomes all season long, best player in the league. I think a lot of people can come to that consensus. But Mackie, what did you think Mahomes and crew did last week?
So last week was a kind of a weird AFC Championship game. You would think that this game would be back and forth shootout the entire game, but I mean the Chiefs had complete control of the game in my opinion for 3 full quarters, and then kind of let the Bengals get back in front. But if I remember correctly, I don't think they ever had a lead. The only real time that I really thought that they had a chance of losing that game is when they gave the ball back with maybe 4 minutes left, and then they went 3 and out, I think, and gave the ball right back to Pat Mahomes. So. I think the Chiefs definitely ran that game. I think a lot of it had to do with all the Bengals talk before the game and everything everyone had to say, and it was just bound to blow up in their
Burrowhead.
face. I think, yeah. I mean, like you're just asking to lose. You're asking for everything wrong to go your way. That type of shit always comes back to bite you in the ass. But I do think that the Chiefs looked strong, and that defense looked really good against the second best quarterback in the league. And I think that's going to be huge against this Eagles team, as they haven't seen anything really like Jalen Hurts this season. I don't know. I thought the Chiefs looked really strong, and they had to play the better team, so they're more ready for the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. And I wanted to jump on this topic because I've been eager to talk about it for a while. Pretty underrated group that Chiefs defense, but I like Spagnuolo in the way. That's Steve Spagnuolo, their defensive coordinator, no? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
I think I'm pretty sure you're correct.
Yeah,
you know more about that shit than I do.
Yeah, he's been around. He's been around for a while, and he always coaches them up well. But Chris Jones, I mean, talking about his game, he had a big one last week. I think he had a sack or two now, but he's been the best defensive tackle all season long, in my opinion. And he's been that Pro Bowler guy on anchoring that defense year in, year out. And then you have guys alongside of him that are playmakers. My favorite to touch on, I will a little bit more when we get into the Super Bowl matchup, will be Frank Clark. I mean, that guy's been this is probably his 4th Super Bowl already in his career. That's pretty crazy. And as an edge rusher, he likes to come alive in these times. I would like to see what Chris Jones does, though, because some of my Eagles base has been telling me that, bringing up this Chris Jones stat, that he doesn't have a career sack in the Super Bowl or something like that, or one career playoff sack or something crazy. But I still think he's going to be disruptive all game long, stymie that run game, and then get after Jalen Hurts and make him jump the pocket a bit.
I think we could also see a big game from Isaiah Pacheco. We saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire in this situation 3 years ago when they won it against San Francisco, and he was a rookie running back that year too, and he had a big game. Definitely a huge part of that win against that Niners team. Pacheco's been great all season. He came into the spot out of Rutgers, drafted late. I think he was 4th round draft pick, maybe even later. But he's really came into this role and taken a spot in this role. He doesn't stop moving his legs. He's really
so
shifty running back, and I really think he's so explosive for how small he is too. I mean, I think he could be a really big part of this offense this week, and history repeats itself. So we'll see.
Especially in the playoffs when guys are tired out from a long season, you get those young legs on this that come off the sideline, barely used. A lot of tread on those tires, to say the least, and he hits that second gear fast. I'm eager to see him break away this week.
I definitely wanted to touch on that game because obviously now that's 4 times these teams have played each other, and every game it's come down to a field goal. We now know that Burrow's officially lost to Mahomes 3-1 against him. Mahomes gets the monkey off his back and beats him, but I had the Chiefs in that game too. If I didn't take so many fucking props this weekend, I would have just had a nice 2-0 weekend like Jesse did. But I see those props, and sometimes like fucking Jerick McKinnon, I think he got down to like the 5. These first touchdowns, I don't know. Next year, I don't know if I can card another first touchdown because I hit all the ones. I send you guys all the fucking tickets and post them on the Instagram, and I don't card them. They fucking hit. And then I card them, and I get a bad beat inside the fucking 4-yard line. So
I feel like you hit more like next touchdown. Like it'll be a live bet
anytime
after the third
touchdowns
touchdown.
or next.
It'll be just like Dalton Schultz like fourth touchdown.
Puff, you know what's an interesting play that we don't really look at that I see sometimes? I'm like, is just that first touchdown score for a given team. That line's still pretty inflated.
Yep.
And it's
That's something I'm really looking at for this game this week.
For an underdog, right? You can get a nice line on an underdog.
Oh, definitely. You're still getting that juiced up line, but it's a little bit safer because in case your team doesn't get the ball first or tough series to start the game, then you still get a chance to come back and hit that.
That's actually Ace. I'm glad you said that. That's definitely something I was going to bring up. And I don't know if we were going to do value plays. I mean, I know we're going to break down every single aspect of this game, but we'll definitely get into things that we feel like have value. And that was the one thing I'm looking at. There's two guys I think it's worth it, one for each team. Something I was looking at for this week.
Yeah, Jerick McKinnon, you mentioned him, and I thought he was going to get in the end zone last week too. Did I end up carding that as well? I might have. I can't remember exactly 2 weeks ago, that tough Pro Bowl to watch. I don't even know if any of us did. This is making me forget
I was watching it at I watched the rerun at like 11 o'clock when I was laying in bed, and I was like, I'm so glad I did not waste my Sunday afternoon watching this.
The one time I go to the gym, I was on the treadmill. I'm like, all right, well, the Pro Bowl's on at least. I'll run and watch the Pro Bowl. And I turn it on.
Yeah, that I would watch it in that
There's guys moving weights and like running around. I'm like, all right, this is terrible.
Move the chains.
Yeah.
Wait, can you guys actually break it down for me because I didn't watch a second of it. But the only thing I've seen from the Pro Bowl is them playing Madden, Micah Parsons and Sauce Gardner.
It was Mackie. The flag football challenge was literally like 3 games. From what I know, I barely watch it. It was like 3 games, and it was Peyton Manning got to set the lineups for the AFC. He was like the head coach for the AFC, and Eli was the head coach for the NFC. I assume you saw like the Instagram and shit about that. And then so Derek Carr played the last game, and I forget what the statement that he said. Someone goes, or I think it was Ryan Clark goes up to him after the game. He won his flag football game and goes, Derek Carr, have you ever been this hot in this stadium? And he goes, Derek Carr goes, no, that's probably why I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, that was good.
That's actually really funny.
It was really good. Like, that made me actually somewhat kind of like him, knowing he has like a sense of humor about saying, all right, if they're going to fucking dish me to the streets, I'm at least going to have some fun with it too. So
honestly, Huff, that's probably one of my most liked competitions in the Pro Bowl is that QB accuracy challenge. I feel like that's one of the things sick. That takes skill.
What's funny is, didn't Huntley do like really good?
I don't know, but
I saw a video. I think he went for like 45.
Potentially a lot to see where that QB.
Dude, Huntley is not the answer to any organization. He does he's auditioning to be a bridge for someone and eat up a big contract at least.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah,
he is the type of player to just steal a contract.
He's better than whatever they have in Tennessee right now.
He reminds me of Tyrod Taylor.
See, I don't know. I think if that guy's a starting quarterback, he wins 3, maybe 4 games.
No, I'm just saying. Like, there's a lot of places that don't know what's going on. I mean, the Bucs are left high and dry. The Saints, Panthers, Titans, Seahawks, Rams. Like a lot of teams that have question marks. Packers if they lose. Rodgers, the Jets. I mean, a lot of people.
It actually would be interesting to see him in a Titans uniform with. You have the run game already with Derrick Henry, and it's like.
The Texans as well.
But I stand by my point with Tyler Huntley. I think it actually hurts him being Lamar Jackson's backup because you're already game planning for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's actually he's got a little bit different skill set. It's very similar, but yeah, no, the Pro Bowl. Going back to it, did you guys see the one clip I saw though? Was that hit by Jalen Ramsey on Tyreek Hill? He clapped him.
Yeah,
that was so funny.
Dude, he just totally forgot they're playing flag football, not wearing pads, anything. Tyreek Hill's running down the sideline. Mackie, did you see this one?
What?
Mackie, did you see this? The clip of Jalen Ramsey
did see
cracking
this.
him?
It kind of looked like Jalen Ramsey didn't even mean to push him. Tyreek Hill is just like such a tiny dude. He just
he's just so small. He bounced right off.
Doesn't expect to get hit at all.
It was a touchdown, though.
Another cool clip I saw was Trayvon Diggs intercepting the pass by Stephon Diggs on that drawn-up play. That was cool. Trayvon Diggs is an athlete. That's all he does is gets interceptions. That's why he's in the Pro Bowl year in and year out.
Except when it matters on game-winning drives in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, just short on that. I mean, they just need a lot more secondary help around them. He's a great defensive back for sure.
If he made that catch, we would have won that game.
Mackey's still tight over that. You can see it.
Huff, correct?
What?
Christian McCaffrey scored the touchdown on that drive. When Trayvon Diggs, when it went through Ayuk's hands, right into Trayvon Diggs' hands, and he just drops it.
Yeah.
Does
He
that
texted
live
me
right
after.
free?
You were like, dude, you gotta catch that.
It's like Jaquiski Tart with the Niners in the year before.
It did. Yeah, that was bad, but yeah.
That was a good
Like you have 11 interceptions the year prior. You're known for interceptions. You drop that?
Didn't he still lead the league in interceptions this year?
No, I think he only had like 2 or 3 to be honest.
The leader, was I talking about this with you guys or another chat?
The leader was like 6. They had like
leader's
6.
6. When we were younger, it used to be like
Sauce
10,
had like 6.
Yeah.
You weren't even in the top 3 if you didn't have double digits.
Well, actually, I looked at it. There's not a lot of times in our lifetime that the double digits are that high. If somebody can get a stat on that, it's actually not very high at all. I'd say a lot of times it's 8 or 9.
Justin Simmons, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Sauce Gardner, and Tariq Woolen all at 6.
A lot of
Jair
young
at
names,
5.
that's pretty cool.
Dude, like I remember prime Richard Sherman, 11 picks a year. I could be wrong on that, but
I looked at it. I thought that too. I'll look it up and tell you. Hang on a second.
Darrelle Revis.
J.C. Jackson, dude, come on.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like,
all right, here we go.
Stephon
Year by
Gilmore,
year
his
leaders. All right, do you want to hear how many times in our lifetime? No, I'll go since 2012. So 10 years. Last 10 years, how many times do you think there's been over 10 interceptions in a season?
3.
I was gonna say 6.
2.
Wow.
It's 2, and there was only one time it was 9.
Wait, can we guess who it was? Don't say anything.
Well, you already said 1. Trayvon Diggs, 11.
Stephon Gilmore.
Well, obviously, yeah. Yeah, probably Richard Sherman, I would think.
Nope.
Stephon Gilmore.
Richard Sherman never led the league in interception. Oh, he did in 2013. He had 8.
Yeah, the year they won the Super
Gilmore
Bowl, he led
had
them.
6 that year they won the Super Bowl. But no, after Trayvon Diggs is 2020, Xavier Howard on the Dolphins had 10.
Wasn't
then
gonna.
Stephon Gilmore, I swear he had double digits a year he won Defensive Player of the Year.
What?
8.
What is it?
Unless that's, let me see. Nope, yeah, 8.
Has Darrelle Revis ever hit 10?
When we
Maybe
were
like
young, from
2010.
05 to 07, the leader had 10. From that year, it was Cromartie, Champ Bailey, Asante Samuel, Ty Law, and
Champ
Delta
Bailey was
O'Neal.
a dog.
Ty Law was a dog.
Yeah, he was.
All those guys were dogs.
And then prior history, way back in the day, there actually used to be a lot more interceptions. That's a pretty cool stat to look at. The most
Yeah, they just
interceptions in a
chucked
season
the
of
ball
all
back
time,
then.
does anybody know?
I'm gonna say 19.
Oh, that's
I'm
wicked
going to say
high.
14.
Yeah, it's probably, well, here's some good insight. It's probably
You made
lower
it
considering
seem-
there's more games in this generation.
You made it
than
Yeah,
seem
there's
like
more
it was
games
like
now.
high, like they were.
No, I'm just saying it's not that high. That's why I was surprised, I should say.
They used
It's
to play like 10 and
13.
12 game seasons. Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say
14.
I said it. Bang.
Night
Who got
Train
14?
Lane in 1952
Jesus Christ.
on the Rams.
That stat doesn't count.
All right, then more contemporary, Huff. I'll go to this one real quick for you. 13 for Lester Hayes in 1980
I'll take that one.
for the Oakland Raiders on that great Raiders defense.
It's in the modern day NFL. That's fine.
Yeah, so there's some crazy stats we threw into you after our conference championship round, but some good football banter nonetheless. Expand your knowledge. You can learn something new every day.
All right, we want to get right into this game.
Yeah, I think it's about that time. That was some good stuff there, guys, talking about the Pro Bowl, recapping those NFC and AFC championship matchups a couple weeks ago. But it's time to introduce our guests. Let's start off with our returning guests, Abik and Big Hoss. Abik, let's start with you. Great to see you again. Why don't you give everyone a little update? How's it going, my buddy?
Pretty good, guys. Just been working. I just joined the gym last month, so just been ripping that every day and trying to get fit. That's all.
Good shit. Good
Get
shit.
swole.
Love to hear that. Big Hoss, Anthony, you're next. What's going on? Give us a scoop on your life since we last saw you. What's going on?
Damn, guys. Honestly, Appreciate you guys bringing me back. Absolutely great time for football fans. Not a great time for Ravens fans. I've been glued to my phone for the past 3 or 4 months since you guys last saw me. Just waiting for that news to see that Lamar signs his new contract, and all is good for Ravens fans. But until then, I'm going to be hanging on to the edge of my seat. So happy to be back. What's up, a beak?
A beak. No news on your boy Tom Brady hanging him up?
It was time. I would love to see him come back one more year, but it's time.
I think he's
leaving the door open. He's saying he's not coming to Fox for a year. He's leaving the door open for if the Niners have another situation where they have to dive down to a 4th or a 5th string quarterback. But I'm telling you, he's leaving the door open.
I did think he'd go to Las Vegas, if anything, but I don't think he was going to go across the country away from his kids. So
yeah, I didn't think he was going to do that either.
I actually wanted to see him in Las Vegas. That would have been dope with Devontae Adams. But he wasn't going to win the Super Bowl there.
I'll take Aaron Rodgers on the Raiders instead.
Yeah, that has a high chance of happening, I think.
Did you see the Jets said they're willing to give up multiple first-rounders?
Yeah, you got to get a deal.
Yeah, you got to bring some good drugs, too.
That contract's killer, though, regardless.
Green Bay wants to get rid of him.
There's going to be a QB carousel for sure this year. We'll get into touching that in further weeks. That's going to be some big topics of ours.
For sure. I'm very excited about all the talk coming here after the big game that we are about to review. So why don't we just jump in? It's time, the moment we've all been waiting for, many, many long weeks of football to get us to this point. But we've finally made it. Again, I'm very excited. It's here. Let's jump in. The Chiefs and Eagles, Glendale, Arizona, State Farm Stadium, 64,000 people in attendance this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Some paying tens of thousands of dollars for their tickets to see their matchup. Some will be at home or in the casino betting on every portion of their game like us. Hope you find yourself somewhere in that bubble. But let's jump into this game. It's time. Again, the Chiefs and the Eagles. We got the Eagles coming in as the favorite at 1.5 points. Their money line sitting at -125. Chiefs money line at +105. And the over-under sitting at 51 even. It's going to be a pretty wild game here. Lots of trends and stuff to cover. To start off, teams wearing white are 15-3 in the last 18 Super Bowls. As well as the teams that open scoring have gone on to win 37 of 56 Super Bowls, hitting at 66%, including 8 of the previous 11. The over is 6-4 in the last 10 Super Bowls with a spread of 3 or less. That's all I got here to start off. Let's jump into this game a little bit. Huff, you want to get us rolling on this big matchup coming up on Sunday, the big game?
Yeah, so obviously a lot of things to look at going into this game. We've kind of hinted at, obviously, what we all think of the Eagles and what we think of the Chiefs. And both of these teams having the same records coming into this game and the same amount of points scored, same points per game, obviously. Kind of a crazy stat there if you didn't look at that, but everyone talks about this Eagles defense and what they're capable of, and I kind of said it earlier on, but I think it's really going to come down to what this Eagles team is capable of doing or able to do in certain situations where they have Pat Mahomes in, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, key situations where you need to get off the field. What is that defense able to do? They've done it all throughout the season. We said it, 38-7 against the 49ers and same thing against the Giants or 31-7, whatever it was. They've just been blowing teams out recently, and the strength of schedule all throughout the regular season. We know that, but I think if they're capable of getting off the field on 3rd down, and that's a huge if, I think this Eagles team is capable of winning the Super Bowl. And I'm not going to lie, I placed a wager yesterday, $220 to win 200 on the Eagles -1.5, and I'm going with the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
Really excited about that pick, Huff. We made a whole big reel about that to be released when this episode is as well. Real excited about that. Your journey to placing your bet, as you will.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll kind of get into other aspects of why I like them, but I just kind of wanted to keep the first kind of idea quick and get everyone's opinion, and then we can kind of dive into why.
Absolutely agree. Here, I got a couple more trends to go over here. Kansas City went 5-0 straight up, 4-0-1 against the spread against NFC opposition this season, and is 18-2 straight up, 11-8-1 against the spread in non-conference contests since 2019. The Eagles have been a solid bet in postseason play with a 7-4 against the spread record in the playoffs going back to 2010, including easily covering as favorites in both postseason contests this season.
I gotta say, I am surprised with your pick. I thought you would be on the other side.
I said I've gone back and forth on this game, and I just think everything came down to the injuries that the Chiefs have at wide receiver, and I obviously know, we all know the Mahomes and Kelsey matchup. It's the fucking Kelsey Bowl. I've heard that term 100 times in the past week, and I really think the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts is able to get the job done with. I say he's an inexperienced quarterback, but he's just really proven people wrong all year, and I'm really high on this team. I'm not necessarily. I think obviously Kansas City with the experience, and it wouldn't be surprised if I'm on the wrong side of this. I've been there before, but I think this Eagles team is capable of getting it done. They're without McCole Hardman, they might be without Kadarius Toney and Juju Smith-Schuster, and I don't know Mahomes. We know the ankle situation. I mean, obviously he's going to play, but we don't know what percent he's at. You hope you get 100% out of him for the sake of a good game, but I've gone back and forth, and I ended up going with the Eagles. I think I'm pretty confident in this. I'm not going to lie. I've had more other picks where I've been more confident, but I'm going with the Eagles, and I think that Jalen Hurts is capable to get the job done. It kills me to go against Mahomes, but I think the Chiefs' defense isn't going to have much to say about this Eagles running game.
Huff, I'm going to disagree with you there completely. I haven't been on the fence about this. I probably had my pick locked in for the Super Bowl winner since the end of that divisional round, and I just have two words for you: Patrick Mahomes. He's going to get the job done. He's been there before, 1-1. This time he's going to come out with his second ring, I say. I'll get into it more further in the cast, but that's my pick for the Super Bowl, and that's what I've locked in on the books at plus money still. So grab it while you can.
Yeah, so I got Chiefs at plus 105 yesterday as well. I think you're going to see them at minus 105 at least by kickoff. Getting Mahomes at plus money in the Super Bowl is just incredible to me. I think he's really going to come out strong. I do like that Chiefs defense to come out really strong. I think Jalen Hurts struggles a little early, first 2-3 drives. Then he'll figure it out and get some points up on the board. But I'm leaning that first half under as well. Huff, I know that's your bet. I don't know, you might want to rip it one last time for the season, but
I was looking at it too. That's funny you said that.
Yeah, so I like the first half under. I don't want to go full game under because that fourth quarter can just get chaotic. But yeah, I like the first half under, and I'm leaning Chiefs.
Abik, Anthony, we need your guys' takes. What do you guys think's going to happen this weekend?
All right. So like Alex, I've had the Chiefs locked in since the end of the AFC title game. I've been on this reasoning all year. I just don't think the Eagles have been challenged at all year. They've coasted to the record they've gotten. They've played a bunch of cupcakes, in my opinion. I did think that the 49ers would have been their toughest challenge, but Brock Purdy got his elbow taken out, and then they got blown out. And Pat Mahomes is a different breed than what they've faced this year. So, and I like the experience versus the youngness of the Philadelphia Eagles. I trust Andy Reid will have something ready to go to beat his former team. So I'll be locking in the Chiefs.
I got to disagree. Honestly, I'm kind of rocking with Huff. I like that take a lot. I think obviously you can say a lot about the schedule, things like that, but when I watch the Eagles play, I see that defense, and I think I know a defense of championship caliber when I see one, and I think that's what we have here. Obviously, there's a lot more reasoning going into it, but give me the Eagles at minus, I think it was 122 for the money line, so give me the Eagles.
Tons of good picks to go around there, boys. Lots to look forward to. Let's jump a little deeper into this game. Some of these props for the Super Bowl. Lots of wild ones like the length of the national anthem, the coin toss, the Gatorade color being poured on the winning head coach, and so on. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think of these ones. I got a little trend for these. In last year's Super Bowl, 31% of bets placed before the game kicked off were same-game parlays at BetUS or at BetRivers, Barstool, and other big major U.S. sportsbooks. So why don't we start off at the beginning of the game here with the national anthem. We got Chris Stapleton singing the anthem this year. The line I saw set for 125 seconds, so that's 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Anybody have any take on that?
This is actually, I was just going to say, this is actually one that I'm actually going to take. Like Chris Stapleton, hammer the over on that. Are you kidding me? That guy's going to milk that shit. Like the fucking
everyone's saying the over though. I've not heard one person say the under yet.
Bro, Chris Stapleton has an 8-minute song like that he plays to open up every concert on his set list. Like this guy is going to hammer the over. Like this is no brainer. Hammer the over. When you over at 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
You know he knows the line. He knows the line.
Oh yeah, but that's why I feel like he's gonna go crazy on it, dude. What was it? I think it was 6 out of the last 8 Super Bowls have hit the over. Chris Stapleton's not gonna be the guy to end that streak. I promise you that.
No, this is an under.
I can't even cut in on this. I would never bet that, but
Country singers are a different breed. It's gonna be an under this year.
Trust the beak. Trust.
There's the first under I've heard right there. I like it. Bet against the public.
Mackie loves fading the public. I'm not gonna personally take one on this outlandish prop, but yeah, take those words of advice from Big Hoss and Mackie and a beak, I guess.
yeah, I'm with Ace.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
No, I'm not betting it either. I'm
That's
just talking about
not
what
wasting
I've seen.
unit on that.
Like, you all gonna be like, damn, like I should have listened to him. Hawes knows. Like I told you guys, watch. This guy's going to milk it. You're gonna be like, is this still going?
My thing is, who has the official clock?
You're not even gonna need one. I promise you. You're gonna be sitting there like, okay, are we playing a game?
Didn't Demi Lovato sing the national anthem once?
Yeah, the
Huff, it's like it'll be out on like social media and everything, 100%. The
real question is who has the video from outside the stadium recording the rehearsal.
That's a good point of Beak. I remember them showing that during Patriots Super Bowls. I wonder if it rang true. But yeah, awesome. I like that insight there. Some good statistics on that national anthem.
All right, that's going to do it for our first prop. Why don't we jump into the coin toss next? The coin toss, heads 4 out of the last 5, tails 5 out of the last 9. I see it coming in here, even money here on DraftKings, plus 100 on both sides. Here's the history of it. Last year, for last year's Super Bowl, it was heads. The Bengals won the toss, but the Super Bowl winner was the Rams. 2021, heads. Chiefs toss winner, Bucks Super Bowl winner. 2020, tails. 49ers was the toss winner, Chiefs Super Bowl winner. 2019, heads. Rams toss winner, Pats Super Bowl winner. 2018, heads. Pats toss winner, Eagles Super Bowl winner. So very interesting there. The toss winner never being the Super Bowl winner. Ace, what do you got to say about that? Your Pats on there a couple times.
So you're saying whoever, it's not really bet the coin toss, it's pay attention to it, because whoever wins the coin toss isn't going to win the game. So that's when you make your live bet right there is what you're saying.
Theoretically, yes.
Okay, good to know. Well, whatever it is, I hope the Chiefs lose the toss.
Agreed.
I do bet tails every year, though. No strat behind it.
I bet heads every year. I won $200 off it when.
I'm going to flip this quarter right now, whatever it is. That's what it's going to be. What is it? Tails.
What is it?
Yeah, we're waiting. Oh, good. Yeah. All right.
Tails.
Just make sure.
Tails never fails, dude. Tails never
I
fails.
saw a guy on TikTok.
Ace, I randomly pulled a Rhode Island quarter out of this change
Oh, so
that
it was
I have
rigged.
in my room.
It was rigged.
I saw a guy on TikTok flip 1,000 quarters and like
Yeah,
that looked
560
brutal.
of them. Yeah.
We're heads.
Like 560 were heads.
Yeah, but Mackie, that's TikTok. They're feeding you fake information. You can't believe it. Come on now.
Fake news.
It's China.
Yeah,
But back to the coin toss flip. I mean, yeah, definitely don't be putting too much on it. Definitely a good prop to invest some time into. The one you have to watch out for is who's flipping that coin, because sometimes we've seen in the past Super Bowls they don't really get any rotation on it.
Yeah,
And
it's a terrible flip.
Yeah, so
Who
definitely.
did it the 1 year where they almost had to redo it?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that because it didn't move.
They literally, like, the players were looking at each other. They were like, "We're actually going off that," and they were like, "We can't redo it." Like, you know how much money's on this? We can't just redo it.
It truly
You're
should
definitely
need
in the
like a
script.
minimum number of rotations or something stupid in the air.
So we'll tell you here. Don't put the house on this prop, but definitely a fun one to get into if you want to start the game and get your feet wet a little early.
Tails never fails.
Alrighty, let's jump into our next prop here, the Super Bowl opening kickoff prop. Will there be a touchback? Will it result in a touchback? Some of these props that we will go over are kind of interesting. I know some of them aren't necessarily available in Pennsylvania, but are in West Virginia, different states, different books. So we'll go over it where we can. For yes, I have minus 160. For no, I have plus 124. The first play of Super Bowl 57 will result in a touchback.
I think it's going to be a touchback. Isn't it like 14 out of the last 17 haven't been touchbacks?
Yeah, it was something like
Yeah, I
that.
remember you saying that the other day.
I'm with
It's
you,
crazy
though.
to-
It could be a touchback.
If it's the Chiefs, okay, here's it. If it's the Chiefs, I think it's going to be a touchback. But if it's the Eagles, I think they're going to run it out.
Good point.
I don't disagree with that.
Again.
Thanks.
It is a good point.
I mean, you got a lot. The other thing too you see though is like Jake Elliott's pretty good. He's got a good leg, and
That's the other thing. Yeah, they're going to kick it out the
Yeah,
back
they
of
just
the
gonna
end zone.
crank it. Yeah,
yeah, I think so. To open up a Super Bowl, like, what are you doing as a kicker? You know what I mean? Like, that's your time to shine. Like, hit a bomb.
get it out
Just
of
put
there.
it-
Yeah,
Just put it through the uprights.
Too,
We've
right?
even
Like,
heard Pat McAfee. We've even heard Pat McAfee say this in the Super Bowl. That ball, that's the one they're taking the picture of. It's the first ball.
yeah,
That thing is like kicking a brick, he says. So that's maybe why they don't always get him out of the back of the end zone the first kick.
that's actually a good point.
that's a
I
good
haven't
thing to
thought-
think about. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jesus,
McAfee literally
this is so...
he literally referred to it as kicking a brick.
That's a good point, Huff. The only thing I'd have to think about is if ideally these are pro bowl kick or pro kickers. They have Butker on one side, and then the Eagles kickers at Elliott.
yeah, Jake Elliott.
Yeah, so both have big legs. We know that, and they're pros. They're like pro kickers. It's not some bum off the street just kicking for a good team. And I think these two coaches, great coaches, we've talked about it all year, are going to limit the possibility of a big play happening on that kickoff, and they're definitely told to kick it out of the back of the end zone. Don't need to get too fancy with it. So I would definitely go no. That'd be a touchback. So what was the bet again, Jesse?
will be a
yes, there
touchback?
will be a touchback. Minus 140.
That's what I would have ride for sure. I mean, I think Bill Belichick mentality. So you got to limit the chance of a big play, especially on special teams to start the game when the jitters are all out there for not your best players either. So I'd kick it out of the end zone every time.
Who's returning kicks for those teams? That's one thing you should look at too.
I don't know who necessarily the kick returners, but
Is
I like
it Quez
McAfee.
Watkins and Mecole Hardman? That'd be my guess.
Michael Hardman's not playing in this
McKinnon.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's McKinnon. Is it what's his name?
Pringle?
Jill?
No, Rieger's on the Vikings.
Oh yeah. Who do they have? Don't they have somebody like pretty decent that can?
It might be Speedy Batman back there. Quez Watkins.
Oh wait,
think that's
Pacheco actually returns kicks for the Chiefs.
He's
wow.
explosive, like we talked about earlier, Mac. But as a rookie, I'd still think he'd sit on.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a touchback.
Boston Scott.
Consensus ride, I think we're on a touchback.
Pretty sure it's Boston Scott.
Good stuff there. I think that's going to be an interesting one. I think just something to get fired up about. Let's jump forward to the first touchdown score of the game. Some very good odds here on in this matchup. Starting off with Jalen Hurts plus 650, Miles Sanders plus 700, Travis Kelce at plus 700, Isaiah Pacheco at plus 800, AJ Brown plus 900, Dallas Goedert at plus 1200, Devontae Smith at plus 1200. And Jerick McKinnon at plus 1,300 to round those off. I have the history here the last couple years for the first touchdown, their position, and what odds they were sitting at. 2022, Odell Beckham Jr., wide receiver at plus 900. Rob Gronkowski the year before, tight end plus 1,100. Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback, plus 2,000. Sony Michel, running back, plus 400. And Alshon Jeffrey, wide receiver, at plus 2,200. Some varying odds there. So I think it could go anywhere across the board, but what position do we think the first touchdown's going to come in from? Who do we think it's going to be? What do you think, Ace?
I'm going to give you a take here. I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts and some depth behind it, but I'm just going to say keep it simple, stupid. Let's go with Travis Kelce. Don't overthink it. He's going to get in the end zone and do a little dance. He's been there a million times. Always does it. Give me Travis Kelce.
I think I agree. I think this is the easiest time to just take the tight end, especially when it's Travis Kelce. This is going to be his game, I think. Offense is going to go through him whenever Mahomes needs somebody. He's going to find Kelce, and I think they're going to find him wide open in the end zone for a first touchdown of the game.
Obviously, I'm on the Eagles. I'm probably going to be going with Jalen Hurts coming out of the little quarterback run scramble down near the goal line. I'll take Jalen Hurts. I got him at plus 800 on FanDuel, but back to what you guys said, what Ace alluded to earlier on with the first team touchdown score, I'll probably actually be taking Jalen first team for the Eagles and then Travis Kelce first team for the Chiefs. I saw both of them. I'm trying to pull it up. If I find it quicker, then I will say it. But I saw them both sitting right around plus 400 first team. So, Travis Kelce plus 650 I have here for first, or plus 400 first team. I'm just going to take the first team and hope my Eagles score first. But I'm going to take Jalen and Travis Kelce, both first team touchdown scores.
I love that value of plus 400 on Travis Kelce, first team scorer. That's a great playoff. I might be looking into that as well.
I'm trying to find it. If I find it, I'll give you updated.
Big Hoss, you said you had a good take on the first touchdown scorer, no?
I did, actually. I actually rocking with Huff, not surprisingly again. I think it's going to be Jalen Hurts' first touchdown. That's another one I'm actually going to be looking to take as well. I just think he's going to be scampering in it's going to be his game. That pass rush for the Chiefs is pretty good. I think that's kind of the highlight of their team. But when you're in the red zone, anything can really happen. And somebody that can get something done with his feet, Jalen Hurts, big play maybe, and then just walk it in himself. Jalen Hurts, first touchdown score, I got it at plus 850 or something like that. So
I feel like the Chiefs are going to be so aware of that, though. I don't know. That's going to be their entire game plan.
Mackie, I like your take earlier.
The middle.
I like your take earlier. The Chiefs are going to throttle them early. I think they're going to be ready to go, and then the Eagles will late pick it up, and then they're going to be too far behind though. Quick, it's going to be like 10-0 before the Eagles wake up. So give me that Travis Kelce touchdown.
Too. I think you're both going to be surprised.
I have Travis Kelce first team touchdown score at plus 350. You'll see that on my card. And I have Jalen Hurts first team touchdown score at plus 375. You'll see that, or the first touchdown on my card.
I like Travis. Like that's like the homer rocket pick. But what about Kadarius Toney? I feel like we've been all waiting all year for an explosion game, and he's probably like the one person you'd least expect to score the first touchdown. And I think it's like maybe 2,000. Plus 2,000 on Kadarius.
I have 1,900, yeah.
So I would say like Kadarius Toney could be a dark horse for the first touchdown.
Throughout this playoffs and throughout the season since they've acquired him, I think that they've targeted him on the goal line too. A lot of RPOs, end arounds, and quick bubble screens to Kadarius Toney. It's not a bad pick there, Beak. Especially near the goal line, he makes one guy miss and he's in. So
yeah,
is he questionable?
Yeah, but Abik, if you want to take that, just let me know. I'll take that bet for you. Like, you can just I'll take it with you. I'll just take your money.
Yeah, I think it's a much safer play with Travis Kelce.
No, I agree.
Kelce at those odds. But Kadarius Toney, that's a good long shot. I was thinking, I'm surprised nobody said it. You got Pacheco, you got Sanders. It's a running back. A lot of people target those, but I don't think it's going to be one of those run it in, goal line touchdowns, start the game. It is the Super Bowl here. The primetime players are going to get in the end zone. That's why I'm looking at Kelce anytime, first touchdown. But I love the play Huff just alluded to. First team touchdown, Travis Kelce plus 350. Wouldn't be surprised if you saw that in my card as well as Huff's.
Another value one that obviously I'm on the Eagles. I think you could see maybe Dallas Goedert. Mackie said the tight end is always an easy answer for a first touchdown, and Dallas Goedert, he's shown the ability to obviously
He did
be
it
an
in the
elite tight
Giants
end in
game.
points. Yeah, I was gonna say he's got it throughout this playoffs, and sitting at 12-1, that's definitely a nice value play on Dallas Goedert.
Tight ends have just been owning these playoffs.
Just out of curiosity, Jesse, what's the value on any non-listed player or defense/special teams touchdown?
Here, I have it pulled up right now. If
You
it's
know-
Kansas City defense first, it's plus 3,000. Philly defense first, plus 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, 3,500 for Chiefs, 3,000 for the Eagles.
What are those at any time? If you have that up real quick.
Probably
500 and
400.
600 for me.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, same here.
Was it the Steelers that had that 100-yard
James,
The
pick six?
Chiefs.
It was James Harrison, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's James.
Yep,
Harrison.
yep.
Yeah, James Harrison, longest touchdown
96,
defensive
98?
touchdown in Super Bowl history.
I think it was 100.
It was 100. He went goal line to goal line.
That was crazy.
Yeah, he's a freak. James Harrison's nut.
Patriots legend.
And then he's like, yeah. Good one.
I saw him in the airport
Good
a few weeks
one.
ago.
Yeah, that's what I brought that up
He
then when
still
you said
looks-
that, Jesse.
He still looks like he could play in the league.
As long as he's not doing whatever AB posted with him the other day. I don't know if you happened to see that.
I saw that.
That guy's got some serious CT to say the least.
James Harrison's one of my favorite Steelers of all time. That's for sure. And yeah, that touchdown in the Super Bowl, that was crazy. I thought you were saying the first touch. I thought you were alluding more to like a defensive first touchdown that's happened to one of these teams recently, and I was thinking of the TJ Watt one in the wild card game last year against the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, yep. What about the one where Ben snapped it over his head against the Browns?
That wasn't a touchdown though. That was a safety.
Yeah.
That game was 28. No, maybe it was a touchdown because it was 28-0.
Oh,
Dub
it was,
beat
it
up
was,
12-4
it was
early.
bad quick, and I was all over the Browns that game. That was nuts.
Yeah, I like to forget about that game, Ace. Thanks for bringing that one up.
Alrighty, let's move forward to our next one. Why don't we go over the passing yards prop for these quarterbacks this weekend? Jalen Hurts coming in at 240.5. Patrick Mahomes coming in at 294.5. What do we think about this one?
Smash both.
Do you think both will be?
That was the passing yards.
Big on the
294.
over.
I figured
I like the over here.
if
that'll
the Eagles
boost
fall
it.
behind early, they're gonna have to desert the run game,
Chuck?
and they're gonna have to start chucking it around the yard. So 240 seems a little low, but they might have to. So I would take that. And Pat Mahomes has always been good to me on the over this year, so I got to ride with that too.
It's a good point. I just think that the game doesn't slip too far away. Even though I think they throttle them early, I think the game stays within reach, so the Eagles don't have to leave their script. I still think they're going to stick true to that ground game. I don't like Jalen Hurts' passing prop there. I do like Mahomes to grab 300. I mean, in the Super Bowl, it kind of alludes to it now that that's going to be my Super Bowl MVP pick. So if he's going to be winning MVP, he's going to be throwing 303. So I've carded that play throughout the year a few times on the Chiefs with Mahomes' passing prop over. I think he's a consistent 300-yard guy, especially with that Eagles defense. I mean, their run defense is stout, so you're going to have to put the ball in the air, and Mahomes' check downs to McKinnon will count as runs, and that's going to be free air yards.
I really didn't look at yards, but I actually really like. I saw Hurts over 31.5 passing attempts. I think it was at like minus 115 or something.
I was literally just looking at that.
Yeah, I like that a lot actually.
Yeah, Mahomes at 38.5, Hurts at 31.5 pass attempts.
I think
could
it was
see
in
both
the-
those going over, really.
I think it was like just under 30 in the last game. I think he'll definitely have to be. Well, obviously, he's going to be trying to go for the MVP too and all that. So for the big game, I think he's going to be throwing the ball all over the yard. I think so. Especially with those DBs in Kansas City, they're all small. Like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith against those tiny little. I think the tallest DB I saw was like 5'10", Like AJ Brown's going to be eating against them. Just feed the guy. So
We've seen
They're all-
one question.
Devontae Smith.
They're all
Huff,
tiny.
I got one question for you and Anthony, though. You guys are on the Eagles, so would it be smart to play that Patrick Mahomes passing yardage over with the Eagles? Because if they're going to be down, Mahomes is going to be chucking to try and get his way back in.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think he's going to be getting
I could
sacked a lot.
definitely. True.
If he's dropping back like that.
Yeah, but if that happens, it just means more yards for him to gain with his arm.
No, I know what Ace is saying. I definitely think it could be worth it, but I don't know if it's something I'm looking at just because there's so many other props I do like in this game. But that's one I didn't really look too much at. But obviously, like you guys said, it's Mahomes, it's the playoffs, and whether he's winning or losing, I think he's getting 295 or whatever the number is. I have 292.5. So.
Alrighty, and here for the first time ever, a new addition to our guest panel on the program, a Philadelphia boy, WVU alum, among other things. You definitely hear us shout him out here every few weeks here on the podcast. Jimmy Beal, what's going on, Beal? Happy to have you, buddy. We have briefly went through the game as well as some props and such. Why don't you give us your take here, what you think your Eagles are going to be able to do this Sunday?
I don't know. I'm really nervous about this game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a fucking beast, but I really don't think that he's going to be able to hold up against our defense. Our defense is going to crush him. Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat are just going to absolutely roll him, I think. Yeah, just like the fucking Cowboys are in it, idiot.
Sorry, I had to gaslight a little.
Yeah, but I think they're going to do it by at least 3.5. I think the line should have been set at -1.5.
I think
You think
it's
that's
a
a little
sketchy line.
you think that's a little disrespectful?
It is a little disrespectful.
What about that
This-
cakewalk
it-
to the
yeah, I mean-
Super Bowl?
Yeah, cakewalk, right? That
Easiest-
all
Easiest strength
my-
of schedule throughout the season, and then the Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, and then you get the fourth string quarterback with the Niners. So yeah,
what about the 31 points we put up on their
Okay,
defense?
yeah. Okay,
almighty
it's
defense of San Francisco.
it's respectable. Yeah, I mean, you guys had the ball in your hands for 75% of the game.
What happens when fucking Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick go to work?
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying, yeah, man, we have to deal with a little adversity you guys haven't seen before.
I mean, I don't know. I'm very nervous about this game.
What are you doing for
Man,
it?
Come on, Beal, don't be
Xfinity?
nervous. We got this.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm going to this other bar that just opened up down there. We got like tickets and stuff. We're gonna go down there. It's like right by Broad Street, so if they win.
You'll
You're
You'll
right.
be
You're
cracking
right near the
Jimmy Beal.
action.
Jimmy's gonna be up on the poles.
Up on the bus stop, falling through.
Swinging his
I
shit
was
around.
there. I was there, and when they won the Super Bowl, that was pretty fun. Or they won the NFC. That was pretty fun.
Jimmy's the reason they greased the
Yeah,
balls.
why'd you guys riot? Why'd you riot for an NFC Championship game?
We just
City
did
of
it
Philly.
because we were going to the Super Bowl. We did it
Yeah,
last
but
time too.
You act like you haven't been there before or something.
We've been there. We're about to be there again. You know, when's the last time the fucking Cowboys were there?
Yeah, oh, come on. We're not talking about the Cowboys here.
Hey, Mackie,
Yeah, no
do you
one's-
riot? Mackie, do you riot in New York when the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl?
Do you riot in Rhode Island? Is there even enough people?
Hey, it's the New England Patriots.
Exactly. Rhode Island is not. Is Rhode Island New England?
Yeah, come
It's
on.
a
now,
New
man.
England
You're
state,
showing,
yes.
Mackie, your
Shit.
cowboy is showing.
Damn, that was
Yeah.
bad, Mackie.
Yeehaw.
Shit, man.
Oh, boy.
Huff, I know why you're rooting for the Eagles. It's because you're from Pennsylvania, so that's probably the best team in the state.
Just
so you gotta
I just
root
have
for 'em.
so much state proud.
State pride, baby.
State pride.
I'm just PA proud.
If it was winning, I'd probably root for them too. Honestly,
That's kind
Atta
of.
boy,
but
Beal.
they're struggling over there.
yeah, they are.
West side of that state is not doing well.
West
Well,
side,
man,
west
he's-
side.
Huff's buddy, Baby Hands Pickett, isn't doing too much. I don't think he's going to a Super Bowl anytime soon.
He's a
Yeah,
fucking
it's
rookie
Pickett.
with a terrible offense. All right, and now I know how Mackie feels. We're not on the Steelers and Cowboys. Let's get back to the fucking
Yeah, is this
That's
just a
what
roast
I'm
fest? What's
saying.
going on up in here?
As long as nobody brings up Mac Jones, we're good.
Not even worth the time.
We don't. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Oh, Nobody's talking about that.
All right, settle down, Hoss. You like Tyler Huntley, who has many Pro Bowls as Mac
I
Jones.
was like, what are you talking about? The Pro Bowl quarterback, Tyler Huntley? Like, yeah, exactly.
That might be the worst Pro Bowl pick we've seen to date.
He was in the Pro Bowl. That's all I have to say. Like, he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. We got 2 of them on our roster. That's insane.
Well, Bill, I'd love to see that you're on your Eagles, but what are you taking this week? The spread here, 1.5. Their money line sitting at -125. You like anything with the over/under? What are you thinking?
I was gonna take the money line. I didn't really like the spread. I know I said that
It was
I
disrespectful.
like them at -3.5. Yeah, but I don't think I would take that -1.
You're better off with the money line,
Yeah, it's like it's like right there. It's the same thing.
I think
basically.
that 1 point is going to be everything.
Yeah, you take the 1.5
exactly.
and they win by 1, and then you can't even be
Exactly.
happy.
It's not even fun. Yeah.
I mean, in a Super Bowl,
I'll
too,
live
that's
with
such an important thing, a missed extra point. We saw your buddy Maher miss some throughout the playoffs, but even in the big game, it's a lot more stressful.
Miss some.
He's just taking shots.
Miss 75%.
Jesus.
Well, that was probably the worst performance in kicking history, so we have to mention it on the air.
And they brought him back for the next week, too.
They did.
They scared him with some other talent, and then they brought him back.
Oh, that's terrible for his mind. But yeah, no, like I said, in a Super Bowl, we've seen people miss big kicks before, and there's a lot of pressure on it. So that 1 point can come down to it and be a huge thing.
Especially with Pat Mahomes on the field.
He's hurt, though. Like, he really doesn't, like, I don't know if
he's not.
That was a while ago. That was a while ago.
It's 3 weeks ago. He's got 2 weeks of rest.
He didn't seem that hurt in the Bengals game. He was running.
He's gotta be
He
good
was
now.
fine. He was fine in the Bengals game.
I don't know. I didn't think he
It's
looked
Patrick
fine.
Mahomes, the best player in the NFL. He's fine.
I don't know. Give me the Eagles, though. Like, I don't want to have to deal with any of that. They're, like, weird-ass wide receiving core. Like, just give me the Eagles in that defense.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
Like,
that
the
defense
Bengals-
has been stellar in the playoffs, too.
Mac, you just see my
I'm not
text
gonna
there?
lie.
What do you think about that Chiefs alt spread -2.5? That could be a good line to look at, too.
Yeah, but what's the line even? I mean, it's probably like plus 140. It's almost not even worth it.
You think it's that low?
Probably.
I'll go look at it.
Probably plus one. It's probably plus 100.
No.
Anthony,
they're
what I
plus
was going to say
105
earlier
already.
is I was so glad that you were on the Eagles. I thought I was going to be by myself until Beal got here.
I was very surprised Huff was on the Eagles. I'll say that.
Yeah, because usually you want to pick the winning team.
You really think Kansas
Yeah.
City's gonna win?
No,
I really do. I just think
Mackie, how good is Patrick Mahomes?
It's Mahomes, it's Kelsey, it's
Kelsey.
it's everybody
And then who
on
else?
the Eagles.
Andy Reid?
All the
Andy
public's on
Reid?
the Eagles. Andy Reid against his opponent against a team. Is it just the Eagles? Is that the only other team he's coached? Doesn't he tear you guys apart?
No. I don't
But
even
Andy-
remember the
I'm
last time
pretty
I
sure
played- we
Andy
played
Reid.
them.
I'm pretty sure
I
Andy Reid
think
has
that's a
never
stat,
lost.
Mackie. The teams he's coached before he does well against or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Who else
Really
is he
good.
coached for?
that like Bengals team though. Like that defense isn't anywhere close to how good that Eagle defense is. Like not
Okay,
even
but
close.
think about that Chiefs defense playing against that Bengals offense. They pretty much shut him down last week. 2 weeks
different
ago.
team. Though. It's a different team. Like Joe Burrow's. Like don't even get me started on talking bad about Joe Burrow. I'll tell you how. Like
You're
he's
gonna
just a
you have
quarterback.
you have
dude.
bad things to say about Joe Burrow.
No,
of course,
that
bro. He
those
went
receivers are
It's
scary,
biased.
so-
He's a Ravens fan.
He did-
Oh,
he
I
went-
forgot.
He went-
You're a Baltimore fan.
No. Listen though, he went 4 for 30, and
Invalid.
that's Joe Burrow. Like think about like Jalen Hurts actually runs the ball. So when you add that element to the game, it's going to be a completely different like script. Like that weird little like all young secondary for the Chiefs, they're not going to be able to handle like actual like men at wide receivers. Like I said, like AJ Brown's going to have a day. I think he's going to go nuts. Like
Devontae Smith's
think
like
he's-
165 pounds.
He's still a
Dude.
dog, though. I think AJ
Yeah,
Brown's due for something. He's due for one. He hasn't done shit really
That
in the
was-
playoffs.
that's what I was going to say too. Like he's due. He's so due. And like like I said, I think the tallest corner in Kansas City is 5'10". Like AJB's going up, getting that ball. He's going to have a day.
I carded his touchdown a few weeks ago against the Giants, and I agree he is due. Big time players show up in these big games, and I do think he gets in the end zone. We didn't get to the end time touchdown scores yet, but that's one of the Eagles ones that I'm definitely going to look at.
All right, let's jump into some of these rushing and receiving props here for this week. Anybody in particular that anybody wants to cover? Like Boston Scott over 8.5 rushing yards. Pachenko over 48.5 rushing yards. Jalen Hurts 50.5. Pat Mahomes 18.5. What are we thinking? Beal, why don't you start us off here? What do you think?
You said Jalen Hurts is at 50.5?
Yes.
49.5. I have.
Rushing?
Yes, rushing.
Yeah, it's rushing. Yeah. Let me pull.
You
We'll
think he
jump
goes
over to
over?
receiving next.
I think. I don't know. That's a lot. I don't know. They've been running the ball a lot, like with like Sanders and then Gainwell. Gainwell's been getting the ball a lot, so I don't think he's going to be running for more than 40 maybe. 50's kind of high. I feel like for the Super Bowl.
It's just how often he's going to have to scramble.
Yeah, exactly.
You said it, Beal. I was just going to cut in and say I one guy I do like that has a low number is Kenneth Gainwell at 19.5 yards, and they've shown they're going to use him at certain points throughout the playoffs. They've used him at the end of the Giants game and throughout that 49ers game. I really like Gainwell over 19.5. That's probably my favorite one that I'm looking at here. Just to touch on another couple before I hand it off over, I'll go to Mackie next, and then you guys can kind of figure out which ones you like. But Sanders 61.5. I definitely would lean the over. Just because obviously we know what the Eagles do with the rushing game and things like that. But I think my favorite one is going to be Gainwell, 19.5. It's an easy number. Obviously, you're banking on a second running back to get 20 yards, but 20 yards, I think he could get that in 4 or 5 carries, so or even maybe less. So I like Gainwell. Mackie, I don't know if you're looking at any rushing props.
No, I do actually really like Jalen Hurts rushing prop at 50.5. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of designed runs like we've seen them have a lot, because I think it's gonna be one of the Chiefs' main points. I think it's gonna be more of like scrambling when you see nobody is in the middle of the field. There's no linebackers ready for him to scramble. So maybe he can get 25, 30 yards in one run. You could see like a late second or a late first half drive where they need to go 90 yards and the defense is just playing safe. You can get 25, 30 yards, maybe even 40 in one drive. So I think he can definitely get over 50. And in a Super Bowl where his nerves are already going, he's gonna scramble a lot, and he's gonna have to rely on his feet a little more than usual. So I like his over 50.5.
Abik, what are you thinking on this one?
I'm looking at Boston Scott's 8.5 rushing yards. He's like what? He's the third running back on the Eagles.
I'd say he's like when you need like 2-3 yards, just throw him in there.
You'll just randomly see him pop in, and you never know. It's just one run. I feel like that's worth a shot to take, because they all rotate throughout the game. So I feel like 8.5 is a criminally low number to take. And then I saw Pat Mahomes' rushing yards is 18.5. He hits that a lot, at least when I take it, and he's gonna be running around, I'd say, a lot. So I feel like that's also a good rushing prop to take. I'm not really high on the running backs this game, or either side, rushing wise, but those two would be the ones I would take.
I like it. Big Hoss, what are you thinking?
I actually looked at a few here, and it's strange that you brought up the Gainwell over 19.5 rushing yards. I actually like the under there. I think, obviously, Eagles fans can speak to this a little better than I can, but I think Miles Sanders is due for that contract, and I think this is going to be the game that gets him that money. I think they're going to rely heavily on the run game, like we've said so many times. So I don't think he's going to be used heavily too much in the rushing game, so I think I'd actually go with the under 19.5 for Gainwell at -110. And the other thing I saw, I do like Hurts over in the rushing yards as well. I really think that's going to be something to watch. And over 60.5 rushing yards for Sanders at -110 for the Eagles. I don't know if you want me to talk about the Chiefs too, but I also
Anthony, did you say Gainwell over or under? I just heard you say Gainwell.
Under 19.5 actually. I don't think he's going to be used very much. I really do think it's going to be the Miles Sanders show on the ground for sure. Him and Hurts definitely going to have a day on the ground.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think if you like Gainwell in the situation that I do, I might be better off taking the receiving plus the rushing, because I feel like, or just the receiving, because he'll probably use more in the passing game.
Yeah, because Sanders has to get paid, right? Like, I think this is his contract year. Like, this is going to be the game to do it in.
Yeah, they might just run him into the
Absolutely.
ground because they're not going to sign him. They might not sign him back.
And why
So they
wouldn't
don't
you?
really. Yeah, they probably don't even give a shit if he gets hurt or not. But I think I don't know. They probably don't. Gainwell had what was that? I think it was like 112 yards against the Giants, and then it was like 48. I think he beat.
Yeah, wasn't that garbage time though? Like, wasn't that like once the game was like already over?
But that's
Yeah,
when,
towards the end
that's
because
when
he
they
had that
take Sanders
touchdown.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of his
yeah.
production came late in the game. I don't think this is gonna like unless they really start blowing him out. Then maybe I'll eat my own words. But I think it's gonna be under 19.5 for sure.
The past two playoff games, they've been split in time too. Like, I've been seeing them split in like a lot. Like I don't think Miles has been out there for. I don't even know. Like they just look like they've been splitting snaps.
He's not out
So-
there
Hit
for
the
like
Miles
80%.
Sanders first
He's not
touchdown
Yeah,
out there.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you saving him for now? You know what I mean? Like this is it. Like you already got here. Like I said, I feel like a lot of the production came when the game was already put away. So maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I saw that 19.5. Like that's weird. I don't even know why there's a line for that, but I think it's gonna be a Sanders show.
Lots of good stuff there, boys. Let's jump over to these receiving yard props. A.J. Brown coming in 71.5. Dallas Goedert 47.5. Devontae Smith 61.5. Jared McKinnon 20.5. Juju 36.5. Miles Sanders or Kenneth Gainwell at 11.5. What do you guys think? Curious, Huff.
What'd
what do
you say
think?
Juju's at?
Juju's at 36.5 receiving yards.
Wait, can I just say something quick too?
Yeah,
I
go
didn't
for
know we were jumping ship real quick on the rushing yards, but I actually kind of like Pacheco's rushing total. I think it was somewhere around 46. I think it was maybe 46.5. I kind of like that as well. They've been using him a lot.
I can check it for you real quick.
I
Yeah,
got
he's been looking
48
good.
and a half.
46.5.
What is it, Huff?
I got 46.5.
Yeah, I really don't mind that. I actually think he's kind of shown a lot of talent, and I think they're going to have to use him a lot too. So I like 46.5. I think that's a little low.
I'm
you
with you
touched
on
on
that. I said that earlier before you guys got on. I said I really like Pacheco to have a big game here.
He's a dog. He's been running the ball well. Like when he runs, that's what they've been looking for. I think honestly.
He doesn't stop moving his feet, and he's so quick too.
Yeah, he's not like a freak. Like I don't think he's going to be like a rushing king or anything like that, but definitely serviceable for that type of a scheme. So definitely look for him to make a difference in that game.
Would you play Pacheco at 48 and a half? Because that's what I got him at.
Yeah,
I think he breaks 50.
yeah, I think he gets 50. I don't think he gets much more than that, but I definitely think he gets 50.
Yeah, I agree with you. Mackie and I touched on that a lot earlier about his explosiveness. I would tail that one for sure, Hoss. I like the Miles Sanders one as well. Not much to say on Kenneth Gainwell, as that's more game script, and he's not in there too much. But the one I do like as well, you guys talked about this Eagles defense and how stingy they are and how they're going to make Mahomes uncomfortable. I like him to get over 18.5 yards, all coming on scrambles more than direct runs and designed runs. So those will be the ones I'll be playing for the rushing props. So you got Sanders over, Pacheco over, and Mahomes over.
Let's jump into the Super Bowl MVP matchup for this weekend. Lots of good stuff. I'm going to go over the history here. Last year being Cooper Kupp coming in as a wide receiver. 2021, it's Tom Brady. 2020, Pat Mahomes. 2019, Julian Edelman. And in 2018, Big Dick, Nick Foles. So all right, so who do we think is going to come up as the MVP this year? Pat Mahomes is our favorite here on DraftKings at plus 120. Jalen Hurts behind him at plus 125. Travis Kelce plus 1,200. A.J. Brown plus 1,800. Miles Sanders plus 2,200. Devontae Smith plus 3,000. And I don't know if I need to go much further. But I'm curious to hear what everyone thinks. Huff, Beal, and Big Hoss on the Eagles. Ace, myself, and Mackie on the Chiefs. And a beak on the Chiefs. What do we think here? Who wants to start us off?
I'll start us off here. I'm like you said, I'm on the Eagles, and I actually think we could see Jalen Hurts win it, but I don't like the value of plus 130. I know it's the easy answer to take a quarterback, so So this is something I usually like to reach on a little more value with. So I'm going to start with my pick for the Chiefs. I actually think if you are on the Chiefs, and I actually might take this just because of the narrative. If the Chiefs win this thing and Travis Kelce has 2 touchdowns, he's Super Bowl MVP. I don't care how many passing yards Patrick Mahomes has or how many touchdowns he goes for. This is the Kelce Bowl, and they will do anything they can to put the Super Bowl MVP trophy in Travis Kelce's hands if the Chiefs win this thing. I have him plus 1,600, so that's something that might be worth a sprinkle there on FanDuel. But for the Eagles, I'm looking at more maybe one of the receivers to have a big day. A Devontae Smith, 30 plus 3,100 I have, or AJ Brown plus 1,800, and I know obviously, like I said, the both of the quarterbacks I have them both at plus 130, and that's probably who will win it, just because that's who gets it. But I honestly think if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, Travis Kelce's your MVP.
Think about how hyped he'd be too. Like that speech if he wins Super Bowl MVP, that guy's gonna go crazy.
That's one of my value plays. Like, and I'm on the Eagles. I think Travis Kelce, if the Chiefs win, if the Chiefs win, Travis Kelce's gonna have at least 1 or 2 touchdowns and 100 some yards. So I think he's the MVP if they win.
I like it. What else, guys?
Yeah, I mean, Huff, you alluded to it with the quarterbacks there. My pick is going to be Patrick Mahomes. I think I said this at the beginning of the episode. You're getting him at plus money. That's craziness. He's the best player on the face of the earth in the American Football League, in any football league. He's going to win the game. He's going to win the MVP. And he's going to get his second MVP trophy of the Super Bowl with a second ring. Plus money. Patty M. Lock it in. 303, and he's going to run one of himself. Oh, I actually have a valuable play. I was going to...
Bryce, blow the dude.
Yeah, right? Mac, Beal loves this one. Value play here, too, if I would. Coming at plus 2,100. You guys said he had that first touchdown of a Super Bowl a few years ago. If you get Patrick Mahomes' over yardage prop of 292.5, over 1.5 touchdown passes, him to run it in and the Chiefs to win it all, that's plus 2,100. That's craziness to me. I might be sprinkling something on that. Mac, do you think there's any value in that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was on Mahomes MVP as well. It's obviously so easy to just go with the quarterback or the team you think is going to win. I like your logic on Travis Kelce, though. They definitely are going to try to give it to him. But if Mahomes throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, there's nothing you can do about it. Even if Kelce has touchdowns.
I think if Kelce catches, I think if he has 10 catches, 12 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns, I think they're going to give it to him.
If Mahomes' stat line is there, they got to give it to Mahomes. I mean, he's still the face of the NFL. He's still their little baby. So
he's the State Farm guy, for God's sakes.
It's the Kelce Bowl, dude. The NFL's scripted, bro.
I like the logic. And I like the odds you have on it too. It's definitely worth the sprinkle,
I don't know. I actually don't think I bet a Super Bowl MVP last year. 2 years ago, I bet Brady. I think it was plus 150 whenever I took it, or plus 200. Like, that's not crazy odds, but I don't know. But getting both of these quarterbacks at plus 130, I don't know. I just think they would love to give it to Jalen Hurts, but I don't know. Me being on the Eagles, this isn't something I'm necessarily looking to put a play on. But like I said, my take is the value on Kelce, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes could throw an interception or two, and then that'll definitely boost his odds too.
Bang.
I saw that. I saw he was, what the hell was he at for over 0.5 interceptions? I think he throws one.
Mahomes?
I think he for sure throws ones.
Yeah, I think.
I think he throws off that leg and like tweaks it a little bit and ends up throwing an interception or something like that.
No matter how good of a game he plays, he could still throw it. He'll still make a mistake.
Yeah.
He's not prone to them.
There's 17
so I'm looking
picks
at
on the year. You guys have 17
I'm looking at a
picks on the
head-to-head
year.
props thing for Mahomes versus Hurts. Like, they have like head-to-head props for them to be sacked first, to throw first interception. Mahomes minus 122 to throw the first interception.
Really?
He throws the ball a lot more, too.
Hurts.
He does, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Better secondary out of Philadelphia as well.
Yeah, third best in picks in the NFL. And that's for a reason. That pass rush is insane, but that secondary is good too. I think I definitely agree with you guys. would definitely say I think it's going to be a Hurts MVP. I wish I had something a little bit more like fun to say, but like all these crazy even Kelsey, like that'd be a really cool pick to take, but like there's a reason why the odds are so good. Like he'd have to catch 3 or 4 touchdowns because even then, like you're telling me Mahomes isn't going to get the MVP. Like of course he is, but I still think it's going to be Hurts. Nothing crazy. He'll probably run one in. He'll probably throw 2 or 3, and I think that'll be it.
Yeah, I think the Hurts is the obvious answer for me. But I think if AJ Brown gets that game that he deserves, he gets 1 or 2 touchdowns and I don't know, over
Nah,
100
I'm with you on
receiving
that.
yards.
For a dark horse on the Eagles, I do like AJ Brown because
Yeah,
like
if he gets that game.
I forget who alluded to it, but Kansas City secondary is small, and Devontae Adams is not going to take advantage of that. AJ Brown will. He's going to jump up and baby these cornerbacks. He has potential to have a very big game.
I think Devontae Smith will. I think Devontae Smith will too. I mean,
I think he has a tough game.
He's just so lanky. I don't think he gets as many looks. I think they look at AJ Brown. I think they look at Goddard a lot more than they do at him.
Yeah, Goddard too.
Brown's
Goddard's going to take away.
Go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, I think, like you said with Devontae Smith, I think he stays involved, and especially in the Super Bowl, Sirianni's a good coach. He's going to get high-quality throws for Jalen Hurts, so it's going to be a lot of swing passes. He likes to get Devontae Smith on those screens and whatnot, and he can break it for a big play.
Yep. Skinny
sure.
Batmans. I think, Mackie, I'm surprised. I mean, I know you're on the Chiefs. I think we've seen Devontae Smith come up big in games throughout his whole career. Back to Bama, we've seen him be the Heisman and go off in a national championship game, and now in these past 2 playoff games with the Eagles. Comes up in these big games. I think this is a good situation with him as a number 2. It's kind of like the Bengals situation where you have T. Higgins as a number 2. Like, he's not a number 2 receiver. I think Devontae Smith, Beal, I don't know how much longer he's going to be an Eagle. You guys are going to have to pick between him and A.J. Brown sooner or later. But I think Devontae Smith has a good game today, or Sunday. But we've just seen him go off in big games. And I like your point with A.J. Brown. That's another good one. But I think the Eagle. I'm on the Eagles, so I like it all. Anything.
It's a 1A, 1B in Philadelphia with those receivers.
Yeah, exactly. And I like when they use Watkins. I don't really use him as much, but obviously when you have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith,
They'll use him from like little like sideline shots, like 15 yards, 20 yards, or like a once in a life, like once in every now and then bomb that he can throw like right over the shoulder. But they don't really use him for like slants or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. Goddard. No, I'm not saying that's a value play for the MVP. Yeah. I'm just saying they use him a lot too.
Jimmy, you on the over?
I don't know. That's high for a Super Bowl, ain't it? 50?
It's definitely high. It's definitely high.
But at the same time, if it, I don't know, 26, 25?
Both of these offenses in the fourth quarter can just do their thing. I mean, late in the fourth quarter, I think it can maybe go over, but I like the first half under, like I alluded to before.
What is it? What's it?
First half under is probably 26, 25 and a half.
Yeah, I like that.
I know the chances of defensive players winning MVPs rarely happens. But what would you guys think of a Chris Jones or Hassan Reddick play from either side? Because those two, I think, were 2,000 and 4,000, and they pretty much dominated their playoff games this year. I could see it happening.
If it's going to be a defensive guy, it's going to be one of them for sure.
Yeah, Hassan's got to get a strip sack or at least three or 4 sacks for that to happen.
Who won the MVP?
It'd have to be a defensive game too.
Yeah, it would be. But it can't be like a shootout.
What's that, Big Hoss?
This isn't really.
Who won the MVP the year the Rams won the Super Bowl? Was it Stafford or was it
Cup?
Yeah. See, didn't Aaron Donald have the game ceiling? He forced a fumble or something, or maybe he got a sack.
He got the pressure.
Game ceiling sack.
Even when the Patriots beat the Rams 13-3, it was still Edelman. It was still an offensive player. I mean, it's very hard for a defensive player to get MVP.
I can remember twice.
I can remember it twice. Malcolm Smith in 2013 with the Seahawks, and then Von Miller with the Broncos.
Yeah.
What were their games like? Like, what happened? How did they get?
Malcolm Smith had a pick six, I think, in like the second quarter, and he returned it to the house. That's how I remember he won MVP. But
he had a pick six.
Miller just destroyed the Panthers from the beginning of the game. He won that single-handedly.
Yeah, the whole story of that game was just Cam Newton couldn't do anything, so it was bound to be a defensive player.
I don't see it in this one.
It's a good.
Yeah, it's two heavy offenses. I mean, there's no way you give it to a defensive player in this game.
Definitely worth a look, just on how dominant they are. I'd say Pat Mahomes is, the homer pick if you're up with the Chiefs. But like Huff said, Travis Kelce, I would do it too, honestly. The man's just been so dominant. I don't understand why people don't, jam him off the line, bump him around. They give him a free release and he just gets 5 yards automatically. Like, that's what I would do if I was game playing against Kels. I would just, jam him off the line, make sure he doesn't get a free release. But look, I don't get paid them millions of dollars. The NFL coaches do, so.
Alrighty, let's run through some of these anytime touchdown scores here for this matchup. Let's run through the odds here. Jalen Hurts is the favorite here, -115 anytime. Miles Sanders -110. Travis Kelce -135. Isaiah Pacheco +115. AJ Brown +105. Dallas Goedert +150. Devontae Smith +150. McKinnon +180. Gainwell +300, and so on. What are we thinking here, Huff? You want to get us started on anytime touchdown scores? Who do you think is going to end up in the end zone this week? I believe you said Travis Kelce. What else?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the list here, but one guy that I was looking at, I obviously kind of alluded to it. I think A.J. Brown gets in. I think he has a big day. Maybe could be early, but Jalen Hurts, another one. I like him first touchdown. So I think Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are going to be the two that I go with, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see a Miles Sanders or one of the running backs get in for the Eagles. But I do think we have a situation where Jalen gets 2 touchdowns, like the over 1.5 on the passing, and gets in on the ground. So maybe Goddard and A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts would be my 3 kind of picks for the Eagles, but don't know if I'll necessarily be taking all those. Just 3 guys that I'm looking at. But obviously you got Kelce, but if I take him first team, I'm probably not going to take the anytime as well. But we'll have to see. Ace, who are you looking at?
With this being over, like I said before, I actually like a decent amount of props, and there's some good odds on a lot of them. I definitely like Jalen Hurts to get in the end zone. He does it every week, and he finds himself in good spots. I like A.J. Brown as well. I had it on the card for a few weeks. I agree with your guys' takes all day long that he's going to dominate those inferior defensive backs. But on the other side, love Kelce, obviously. Going to take him first time, anytime, first time for his team. But I said it earlier in the value play that Mahomes' touchdown sitting at like plus 410. It's pretty crazy. And if he gets flushed out of the pocket on the goal line, going for it on 4th down, any down nonetheless, by that good pass rush, he's got the legs to get in the end zone. And I do think he's healed now. He looked good in that AFC Conference Championship. He's had 2 more weeks off, getting the best training and whatnot. And he's a superhuman athlete. So I think he should get in. And looking further than that, Pacheco and Goddard are the 2 that I would look at. I think the tight end's been lethal, like Mackey likes to say, and Goddard's a great option there. Bill, who do you like? I'm guessing a lot of Eagles here.
No, I actually love Travis Kelce. I mean, obviously it's a given. I mean, on FanDuel, Jesse, you said that Jalen Hurts had the most favorite odds.
No, Travis Kelce does at 135.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just going in order.
Yeah.
It goes by first touchdown on DraftKings. I didn't really realize that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, but yeah, I love Travis Kelce. Definitely Travis Kelce. I think Goddard is going to sneak one in here too. I was looking at him. His line, his line was going down. Earlier in the week, he was plus 200. Now he's plus 175. I really think that he's going to sneak one in. Hurts, I just think Hurts is a given. They get into that red zone, and then they get on that. They either going to do a design play for him to run it in, or they're just going to push him in like they always do. So, I mean, they get on that 1 yard line, it's an automatic touchdown for him.
What do you guys what do you guys have Kadarius Toney at as for anytime touchdown?
I have him at plus 230.
That's a Beak's favorite player
I
in
have
the game.
I have 370.
Yeah, I got 370
I
too.
would say Tony's like that dark horse pick. I'm as Alex says, Kelsey is probably gonna be the freest money you'll probably get on Sunday. I like Kelsey. I like Pacheco. I really don't like the receivers. They're all just so it's really random with them. So to predict an anytime TD, but Tony, Kelsey, Pacheco, and I guess McKinnon are my four favorites. But those four would be my picks for the Chiefs.
You don't think anybody on the Eagles scores? They're getting shut
Oh,
out?
my bad. Sorry. AJ Brown is due, and I know he was pouting against the Giants. Thought he'd get it against the 49ers, so I'm expecting him to score this weekend. And Sanders probably gets one, a cheap 1-yard touchdown he'll get. Devontae, maybe. Goddard's name I have not heard all playoffs, really, for touchdowns-wise at least, except the one against the Giants, and I could see him scoring on Sunday because the Chiefs' defense isn't, world beaters, but the Chiefs, they can definitely get scored on, so I could see Goddard scoring.
I think for my picks, just to reiterate, because I said it before, I think Hurts runs one in. I actually think he runs the first one in, so double down there. First touchdown scorer, Jalen Hurts on the ground, so lock that in. I think Kelsey gets one too, just like everybody else on the freaking planet, I think. AJ Brown gets one, and I do think Miles Sanders gets one too, so I really want to say Pacheco gets in, but I'm just going to go crazy. Just give you guys the locks, so.
As Ace says, it'll be free. Kelsey will be the freest money you'll make on Sunday.
Alrighty, lots of good stuff there for who's going to end up in the end zone here on Sunday. Let's jump into our final prop here of the episode. The Gatorade color to be poured on the winning coach, one that I am weirdly excited about. I hit it 2 years ago with the Bucks with blue. I got some trends in history to go along with that. Over the last 22 Super Bowls, orange was the top color, hitting at 22.7%. Since 2015, blue Gatorade has been on the top ropes at 50%. Blue Gatorade hit last year at plus 310 when the Rams won Super Bowl 56. So I don't know what we're thinking this week, but for history, again, the Rams winning last year, blue Gatorade being the color plus 310. Bucks the year before that, also blue, plus 650. Chiefs going with orange at plus 400. The Patriots at blue at plus 150. And the Eagles going with yellow, and I could not find any good odds for that one. But what do we think? Do we think it's going to be a yellow, or do we think it's going to be an orange again, or a red for the Chiefs? Here's the current odds. Yellow-green coming in at plus 165. Orange plus 300. Blue at plus 400. Red at plus 450. Clear or water at plus 750. Purple plus 750. And none at plus 1200. Curious to hear what you guys think. I guess it depends which team wins, but what do you got?
When I first saw this, I feel like yellow and green was like 400, and I thought that was going to be worth it, but I don't know. 175? I don't know if I can take that. I think I'd go with like a red or a blue.
They've been dropping all week.
That's what I thought too. Didn't you guys post something about it where it was like
they were much better earlier in the week?
Yeah, no, I saw that. I was like, oh damn! If I was gonna take that, I'd take yellow and green because it was like plus 475, like you said. If I would have taken that.
Because it also works. It works for both teams.
It does.
Yeah. So here, the Gatorade color odds that we posted was orange at plus 350, blue plus 400, yellow, green 400, red, pink 450, clear water 500, purple 750, and none 1,000. So these ones being a little different, but both from DraftKings. Again, this is one of those ones that you can't bet it in PA, but this is not one of those ones. Retract that offer. Or Big Hoss, what do you think about this Gatorade color?
It's weird when I see that line. I just feel bad for the guys on the sideline because you see purple at like plus 900, and that's like by far the best kind of Gatorade there is. So just gotta feel bad for those guys. But I don't know. I think when I think about this year's Super Bowl, I just see it being orange, but that the yellow green kind of speaks to me too. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I'd probably just take orange, I guess. That's what I see it being on like the posters and on Sports Illustrated and stuff.
I didn't even know pink Gatorade was a thing.
Hoss, I gotta agree with you there. I mean, let's look at history. The last time the Chiefs won, they used orange. So when they win again, they'll be orange this time as well. Lock that in.
You are.
That's not how it works, but all right.
That is such a crazy thing to say.
I don't know why he thinks like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It's because he dick rides the Patriots, so he's got to dick ride the Chiefs. You know how it is with them fans.
This is a question I've been
You know
wanting to
them
ask you the whole
fans?
podcast.
Yeah.
And I want kind of everyone's take on this. What is the narrative of Patrick Mahomes if he loses 2 straight Super Bowls?
What's the narrative of LeBron James?
I mean,
I'm
the
just
narrative
saying,
of Patrick
Is he
Mahomes.
becoming that?
I think he's still the best quarterback in the whole league.
Put it this way,
think
he's
he's
1-2. But if he goes 1-2, how many more Super Bowls will he have too? You know, he's going to be in probably 5 or 6.
And then,
Oh, I
Yeah,
think
but he
more.
has-
I don't think he makes it. I think the Bengals end up making it next year.
Ugh, don't say that. Come on,
Bengals
man.
and Bills are the 2 teams that are allergic to going to Super Bowls.
I was gonna say I'm rocking with you with the Eagles. You got to be talking
Bengals went
Bengals.
last year to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they
yeah,
just
but-
stabbed me with the Bengals.
And they almost lost to Tyler Huntley. Like they won on a fumble 6 from the 1. Like
I think the Bengals team is going to get worse as they lose.
Over-
they
Over-
got to pay people soon. Chase and
I
Burrow
Think
back
so?
to back. So
Yeah.
that team's going to take a hit soon.
But no, yeah, Huff, that's a good question. I mean, obviously he'll still be considered the best quarterback in the league, I'm pretty sure. But it says something if you lose 2 in a row. That means the next time he goes, he'll have to win that one.
I think
But I think it'll be a good
I think
game.
it also depends. I was gonna say I think it depends how the game goes. You know what I mean? Like if he goes for 300 yards and they somehow lose a game and he has 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, it's obviously, you know what I mean? Like the
Defensive
defense
problem.
gives up.
Oh,
I
so
was
he
gonna
has
say,
to
the
lose
defense
like
gives up
Tom
40
Brady, where he
points.
breaks the record against the Eagles but loses the Super Bowl.
You were so salty about that.
No, not as mad about the Giants when the people bring them up, but the Eagles one. I mean that wasn't the toughest one to swallow because they played well, you know.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see. Nicky Foles.
It was really that was a fun Super Bowl to watch, and I do predict that's why I like
That
the
was
over
a good
here.
game.
Yeah,
That was a good game too. It wasn't like that was a good game.
and if you think about the year before, I think it was the Rams Super Bowl, so we saw 16 points, and then we saw like 60.
Exactly. It was-
I think this year though, I'd like to see a lot of points. I do think it'll be a good QB duel. That's why I really like both quarterbacks. If you can parlay over 1.5 touchdowns by both, that could be a good thing to look at. I think both of them have a day, and whoever comes out on top will be the MVP.
No, I think if it does come out to a shootout like that, I think Patrick Mahomes, if he ends up getting the ball at the last, I think he ends up getting the win. I hate to say that, but I think that's just what he does. This is the
if he
stupid
goes
shit that he does. Yeah.
if he goes nuts, you're not stopping. I agree
Huff,
with that.
as a last second thought, Huff, would you ever look into teasing either of these spreads and the total in this game? Would that be of any interest to you?
That's interesting because one way you could get, I mean, the Chiefs at a plus like 4 or 6.5, and it's depending how low you want to go, or the other way you could get the Eagles to lose, or plus 3.5, and they could lose by a field goal, but that could be interesting. I probably would raise it depends how high it gets, but I'd probably have to obviously you'd either get a really low over or a high under. I think I'd probably lean with the low over, but I don't know. It depends on the number.
Like you could if you get a 6-point tease there, it's coming at like what -115.
20.
Right?
I was gonna say 20.
Yeah, -120. You could theoretically get the Chiefs at +7.5, and then you'd be dropping that total as well. Or vice versa, you could get the Eagles as 1.5 right now. You get them at +5.5 for the Eagles. I mean, that's not a bad thing to look at either.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
You know what though? Honestly, like just to your point, Huff, like real quick, like I think people would probably just try and look for an excuse to say Mahomes isn't the best, but like I hate to say it, obviously because he's in our conference, but like I think you can kind of attest to this too. Like, I don't want to see the Chiefs. Like, that's kind of just what it's been at this point. Like, whenever they're on the schedule, I have that game marked in my calendar. It's usually a primetime game for us in Baltimore. So, either way, I hate seeing Mahomes, and I think it's going to be like that for a long time. So, it's going to be a good game on Sunday.
It's going to be a terrific game on Sunday in Glendale, Arizona, State Farm Stadium. Chiefs and Eagles. It's about all I got this week. Anybody else have anything else to add?
Yeah, East, when the Eagles win, you can come stay at my house. We get a parade together.
If Philly's still alive, I think if they win, I think that city's going to be burnt to the ground. The second Super Bowl, they know how to come prepared this time, no?
Yeah, there's a Chiefs bar in South Philly.
I've heard of
and
that.
they have like, I didn't know that was an actual thing until like this week. They canceled they're not even opening the bar to watch the
they
game.
know they're going to get
No way.
ransacked if the Eagles win.
They canceled.
Win or lose, Philly's going to take that place.
I can't imagine people celebrating inside of a building. Because at first they canceled the outside party they were having out of respect, and then they just canceled the whole entire thing.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's Philly.
That's Philly, yeah.
It's always sunny.
Hey, Bill, one thing, though,
Always so.
even though I don't think the Eagles come out this year, even though there's a good chance even they could, I think it's going to be a close game nonetheless. But this Eagles team, I think, is going to be here for years to come. Maybe not in the Super Bowl conversation every year, but in a deep playoff run, owning that division, because the Cowboys gave you the best they could. The rest of that division is getting weak, or the rest of the conference is getting weaker and weaker by the year. So it's looking bright in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that was crazy. That the what were they finished 8-9 and they ended up in the playoffs. It's insane. That whole conference is just we'll dominate that conference for the next couple of years. Maybe lose in the playoffs, like deep run, like
you'll see those Niners again.
Yeah, definitely.
The Cowboys will be a threat, but nothing too serious. But I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. Mad the Patriots didn't take a flyer on him. I thought he was criminally underrated for where he went drafted. But
yeah,
he's a career winner, and that the coaching staff and that front office really built the team. They spend well and they drafted well too. So it's going to be exciting there for Philly.
I don't know. I hated Harry Roseman for what he did with Rager and Justin Jefferson, but after that, he's been like, it's insane the shit that he comes up with and he gets.
These trades too. I mean, you guys have first round picks coming for years. Like you have what, 2 or 3 first round picks next year?
I think we have. I think we ended up with the Saints pick at 9 or 10.
You guys robbed the Saints.
Yeah, we did. We robbed them.
That's actually insane. Like that, I not to make this like a Ravens thing every time I talk, but like if you get Lamar in a situation like that and actually build around him, give him weapons and give him a team, I think that's what that would look like. You know, like I don't know. I feel like a lot of the things people are saying about Jalen Hurts is what I expected to hear about Lamar. So I'm just kind of salty about that. Been salty about that for a while, actually.
Is he gonna stay? I kind of heard that
not.
he was leaving. Ain't he leaving? Yeah, he's leaving, right?
No, they said like 200% chance he's coming back. So let's not even like talk about anything else until it happens. Let everyone else speculate.
Stop lowballing him.
Sorry. Until he's not, bro. I wish I was in the room. I'd show you. My whole room is just all Lamar. So like
Lamar.
He's staying until he's not.
I wish he kept up after his MVP season. I do like him,
bro. But that like honestly though, you look at it like you guys brought in AJ Brown and Devontae Smith is a dog. Like the tight ends are sick. Like you have a running back that doesn't get hurt every time he touches the ball. Like that's what it would look like if Baltimore could stay healthy and actually get him weapons. Like Mark Andrews is great, but you can't just do it with your tight end.
Yeah.
But like you don't need to make it a Ravens podcast. Enjoy the game, dude. Like enjoy your team. Like I'm rocking with you. Let's go Eagles. Fly Eagles,
Thank
fly.
You. I love it.
Yes, thank you to our guests, Beak, Beal, and Big Hoss. Thank you again for all coming. Beal, happy to have you here. Hope to have you on again. Beak, Big Hoss, same to you guys.
Beal, let me get a go birds before you head out.
Birds.
Good luck, Beal. Good luck.
All right.
We'll keep in touch.
Good stuff, everyone.
We'll have to have you back on Sunday. Gotta have him back on when we talk about those Flyers.
Oh God, I don't want to talk about those Flyers.
Just let him enjoy the weekend, dude. Honestly, I'm with you.
I'm a-
Let's go.
I'm a Boston fan. I like the Bruins. I got a jersey, so I'm a Boston fan this
All
year.
right, get out of here.
All right, I'm out. I'll see you, boys.
All right,
See
see
you
ya. Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Go ahead.
All right, lots of good stuff there coming from our guests and from the big Super Bowl game, Super Bowl 57, happening here on Sunday. Huff, what else you got for us as we sign off here?
Yeah, like you said, that's going to do it. That's going to be it for the Super Bowl. Hopefully we come home Sunday or come in next week with a great game to talk about. Just obviously I'm on the Eagles, Ace on the Chiefs. You guys are on the Chiefs. Both of you. Mackey's he had to head out a little early, but we're going to have hope we have a good game to recap next week. Stay tuned to the social media as always for all the plays coming into this weekend. All the plays for the Super Bowl are going to be posted on Sunday at noon Eastern time, so plenty of time before the game to look at them, get the plays locked in and stuff like that. So make sure you're subscribed on everything, following everything, liking everything. It goes a long way for us, so it's something we really appreciate. Thanks for another second NFL season of recapping and things like that for us as a podcast. So definitely wanted to bring that up, but that's going to do it for us. Another week on Hit the Books. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to check out BetUS. BetUS is a premier sportsbook available to everyone of age and has competing odds with all of the other sportsbooks. Join today with our Hit the Books link and get a 125% deposit match with a qualifying deposit. Link is available in the description below.
And that's going to do it for us on this episode of Hit the Books. Thank you to everyone who tunes in each and every week. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here. So please like, share, and subscribe wherever you can. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for our plays each and every night in the NHL, NFL, MLB, NBA, college basketball, and college football. Thank you again, and see you next week.